When I first heard acceptance, I would think that that meant you had to roll over, give up, lie down if you like. And I've talked a lot about this with my clients, about the power of acceptance. And why is it so powerful, acceptance? Well, this came to mind this morning when I woke up. I thought, acceptance is probably one of the most powerful things we can practice. Because as George Orwell said, happiness can only exist in acceptance. Let me say that again. Happiness can only exist in acceptance. Now, on the weekends, usually we find it easier to relax, to chill, but not always, right? It can often be challenging as well. We set expectations of how we think the weekend is going to be, and then when it doesn't go to plan, we get frustrated, we get angry, we get annoyed, we may find a little bit of resentment towards someone in our life, our partner, our kids. Let me know if that's ever happened for you guys. Or you go on a trip, and in your mind it's going to be the greatest trip ever. 2 minutes in, you're arguing with your other half. You're like, the trip's ruined. So, we set expectations unknowingly in life. Expectations of how we think things are going to be, how we think things are going to show up. So expectations lead to disappointment. And acceptance, from as best as I can see and from my own experience, is the only way that we can move beyond that. The only way that we can move beyond disappointment, move beyond the suffering that we create for ourselves, the psychological suffering, and find happiness. So like I said, a powerful quote by George Orwell is that happiness can only exist in acceptance. Happiness can only exist in acceptance. Now, how do we recognize or how do we practice acceptance? Well, acceptance gives us the opportunity to become fully present in the moment. So if we need to recognize, well, how do I practice it? How does it come into my daily, consciousness? Usually the best way that I've found is that if you feel feelings or thoughts of uncomfortableness, right? So if you're feeling anger, resentment, frustration, blame, don't know if anyone moves into the blame game unconsciously in their relationships. This happens to us all, but if you find yourself in those places, like I said, frustration's a great one. You can begin to use that data, i.e. that experience of frustration, to recognize that there is usually something that you're not accepting. Let me say that again. You can use frustration to identify that there's usually or often something that you're not accepting. Now, what's incredibly powerful about that is that rather than remaining frustrated, rather than remaining angry, rather than remaining in resentment, we instead can become aware of that thought, that feeling, that emotion, and use it in our favour by asking the question, what am I not accepting in this moment? What am I resisting that is causing me this feeling of frustration? Now that's incredibly powerful when we begin to accept in the moment, because essentially through acceptance, it's the gateway and the porthole to that space beyond thought. It's the gateway and the porthole to becoming fully present in the moment, accepting of all that is, and then finding a deeper state of peace, a deeper state of calm, a deeper state of presentness.